Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about anime that's absolutely breaking the internet right now, and it's Takopi's original sin. And guys, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this might be the most emotionally devastating thing I've ever watched. This series currently has a 9.8 rating on IMDb for its first episode and an overall score of 9.3, which means it's literally dethroning shows like Solo Leveling as the highest rated anime of 2025, which was, well, not true. Well, Crunchyroll made it, so yeah, of course, it was gonna get the prize, but still. But here's the kicker, it's not even finished yet. Yeah, and it's already being called a masterpiece. So picture this. You see the promotional art and think, oh, cute alien character, probably wholesome family fun. You could not be more wrong. What you get is instead is one of the most brutal, unflinching examinations of childhood trauma, bullying, and depression ever put to screen. The story gets so dark that it's literally kicked off by one of the main characters attempting suicide. This isn't your typical cute alien helps human story. This is psychological horror disguised as children's tale. But before we dive deep into this emotional nightmare, smash that like button if you're already here, and let's talk about why this series is simultaneously the best and most traumatizing thing you'll watch this year. Let's start with what makes Takopi's original sin so devastatingly effective. It's the way it completely subverts your expectations. Takubi travels from his home of Happy Planet to spread happiness on Earth, but meets the unsmiling Shizuka. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. This setup is basically a Trojan horse for one of the most mature and difficult stories in anime. Takubi looks like he stepped out of a Doraemon episode, all colorful and cheerful, with his innocent desire to make everyone happy, but the world he enters into is absolutely brutal. The genius is in how the series uses this contrast. Takupi's pure, childlike understanding of happiness crashes headfirst into very real, very adult problems of abuse, neglect, and systematic bullying. It's like watching someone try to fix a house fire with a water gun. Well, intention, but completely inadequate for the scale of the problem. And that's exactly the point. The series asks tough questions about whether simple kindness can really overcome deep rooted trauma and societal problems. Spoiler alert, it's complicated. Now let's talk about Shizuka because, holy crap, her story is heartbreaking. Yeah, genuinely. This is easily one of the most grim, harrowing, frank, and graphic depictions of childhood neglect and depression that I've ever seen in any medium, and all of it centers around a fourth grader. Yeah, that isn't just usual. I mean, it's not a real story, but still, it is fiction, but still. Shizuka isn't just sad, she's completely broken by a system that has failed her at every level. Her home life is a nightmare of neglect and abuse. Her school life is constant, vicious bullying that goes way beyond typical mean kids territory. This is a show that features nearly constant occurrences of violent bullying that will make you physically uncomfortable. Yeah, I felt bad for Shizuka too at first, but then I saw what happened next. What makes it even more devastating is how realistic it all feels. The series doesn't pull punches or sanitize the experience of childhood trauma. It shows you exactly what it looks like when a child has no safe spaces, no support systems, and no hope. Shizuka's emotional numbness isn't just character development, it's a genuine philosophical, psychological response to sustained trauma. And here's where Takopi comes in, trying to fix her with this simple alien understanding of happiness. But you quickly realize that band aid solutions don't work on wounds this deep. The series forces you to confront the uncomfortable reality that sometimes good intentions aren't just enough. And can we talk about how brilliant the visual storytelling is? The art style is the perfect blend of cute and horrifying that keeps you constantly off balance. Takupi's bright and colorful design contrasts sharply with the muted, oppressive world around him. The way they animate Shizuka's expressions, or lack thereof, is absolutely haunting. You can see the life slowly draining from her eyes as the episodes progress. The subtle changes in her body language, the way she flinches at certain moments, the dead stare she gives when adults talking about helping her, it's painfully authentic. And the background, the school feels like a prison, her home feels like a tomb, and even supposedly safe places feel threatening. The visual design constantly reinforces the emotional reality of the story without being heavy handed about it. The series also uses Takopi's alien perspective brilliantly. His confusion at human morality mirrors our own discomfort, making us question why we accept these things as normal parts of childhood. It's social contemporary wrapped in science fiction, and it's incredibly effective. What really sets Takopi's original set apart is how it refuses to give answers to impossible questions. Can an individual's kindness overcome systematic problems? Is it enough to want help if you don't understand the root causes? How do you save someone who doesn't want to be saved? The series doesn't just ask these questions, it forces you to sit with the discomfort of not having clear answers. Takupi's attempts to help sometimes make things worse, which is a brutal but realistic portrayal of how good intentions can backfire when you don't understand the full situations. And let's talk about the adults in the series. Oh man, the adults. They are not cartoonishly evil, they are realistically incompetent, self absorbed, and willfully blind to the suffering right in front of them. The teachers who ignore the obvious signs of abuse, the parents who prioritize the own problem of their children's well being, the system that fails at every level. Well, it's all too real. The series holds up a mirror to our society and asks, why do we let this happen? Why do we accept that some children will just suffer? It's uncomfortable. We know these problems exist in the real world, and simple alien kindness isn't going to fix them. I'm not gonna lie, this series is hard to watch, like genuinely difficult. There were moments where I had to pause and take a break because the emotional weight was just too much. But that's exactly why it's powerful. Series doesn't exploit trauma for shock value. Every difficult moment serves the story and helps you understand the characters better. You feel Shizuka's pain, you share Takapi's confusion and frustration, and you start to understand how complex these situations are. What gets me is how the series shows the ripple effect of trauma. It's not just about Shizuka, it's about her suffering, affects everyone around her, how cycles of abuse perpetuate themselves, and how society's failures create more victims. Here's the thing, despite of all the darkness, there's still hope. Not the knife, everything will be okay kind of hope. Yeah, that's not like impossible, but I don't think it's possible in nowadays. But the harder, more realistic hope that comes from understanding and facing difficult truths. The series suggests that real change requires more than an individual kindness, it requires systematic understanding and commitment. What's incredible is how the series has sparked conversations about real life issues. People are talking about bullying, child abuse, mental health, and societal responsibility in ways that typical PSAs never could. The fact that it's the highest rated anime of 2025 says something important about what audiences are hungry for. We want stories that challenge us, that don't talk down to us, that trust us to handle difficult matter. Takupi's original sin respects its audience enough to tackle these themes without pulling punches. And the discussion it's generating, people are sharing their own experiences, talking about signs of abuse to watch for, discussing how to actually help rather than just feel good about trying. That's the mark of truly impactful storytelling. The fact that this series is still achieving this level of critical acclaim while still airing shows that we are entering new era of anime storytelling, one where difficult topics get the treatment they deserve, where viewers are trusted to handle complex themes and where entertainment and social commentary can coexist. So yeah, Takupi's original sin deserves every bit of praise it's getting. It's not just good anime, it's an important anime. What did you think? Has it destroyed your soul as much as it did mine? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into anime that matters.